So therefore, last time we talked about that we need to, without making efforts and really taking some diligent work, we cannot achieve anything, short term as well as long term. And especially, we talked about the purpose of our life. If from the Buddhist point of view, it is possible that that we can find a way to completely transform everything by transforming ourselves and really do away with the root causes of our suffering and pain, and find a lasting peace and happiness for myself, and therefore also for everybody, because anybody and everybody, if we really try hard, we can do that. And for doing that, the life we have now, the human life, with all this intelligence, with all this power of the mind, is the strongest and the most suitable one for that. So therefore, if we waste this life just by doing nothing or doing negative things or just distracted, it will be a great loss for us. So therefore, we need to understand this urgency and not get lazy. And that's why, he talks about why it is important to generate the inspiration, and in order to do that, we need to understand the impermanence of life, uncertainty of life. That's why it is said, "Nyomo javi shonin sevi jana chirchirni, chidokan sunchirpa chete tadung mishisam. Ronde rimji sueba yu chuji tongwa majirto mechun nila tenpa kong dolato na mahik. Lamnukani kani sen chidokini diginte chitarchu na saga hin nilu chitarka." So these are the few stanzas. And so stanza number 4, snared by the trapper of defiled emotion, enmeshed and taken in the toils of birth. Again you have strayed into the maw of death. What is it have you still not understood? We are so much trapped in the negative emotions of aversion and attachment and too much hatred and jealousy and all kind of things, and craving and all things. And with that, we are born again, we do so many things, we run all our life, and then we die, and again we don't know when we are going to die. We suddenly die unprepared, and then, when we are about to die, then we look back and then we find that we have done nothing that is really worthwhile. So should we die like that? Should we not do something now which is worthwhile which is meaningful, which is something that will lead to something good for this life, something good for next life, something good for me, something good for all other people. Don't you see how, one by one, death has come for all your kind? Stanza number 5, We look around and we have seen so many people that we know have passed away. Some of them were old, some of them were young, some of them even very young. And all of them pass away one by one and one by one. And especially if you are a little bit elderly like me, most of the people you have worked with, you have known, have died. And, and everybody is actually following that path. And then you look what you have done in this life and what you are doing now. Are you doing something really beneficial? Don't you see how, one by one, death has come for all your kind? And yet you slumber on so soundly like a buffalo besides its butcher, all the paths of flight are blocked. The Lord of Death now has you in his sights. How can you take such pleasure in your food? And how can you delight to rest and sleep? So there is absolutely no certainty of life. It can come any time. If I am young or younger, there is no certainty that I will not die soon. Anyway, the time will pass so quickly that we don't know when we become old, when we are about to die, and when we died. So therefore, if we are a little bit wiser, then we should do something that would really help us and help everybody, now. If we think that we will do something useful, like practice of Dharma, something that is good for other people, something that is useful for the world, later on, then it might never happen. So therefore, it is important to reflect on this. Then also to understand that we could actually die very soon. Nirvana chinjirwi jisitana tsuksasa, tetse lelo ponchino duma yinpachi jishisa. So, if you think that, yes, it is true, but, I can do it a little bit later. Death will swoop on you so swiftly. This is stanza number 7. Death will swoop on you so swiftly gather merit till that moment comes. For even if you then throw off your indolence, what will you do when there is no more time? You can never say that I can do it later, because it can come any time, and we never know when the death comes. You are healthy does not mean that you will not die soon. You are young does not necessarily mean that you will not die soon. And so therefore, when the time comes for you to die, then it's too late, then you cannot do anything. So therefore, if you want to do something that's worthwhile, that's useful, that's liberating, that's transforming for myself and for others, we need to do it now, especially when we are young, when we are healthy, when we have all the physical and mental power. That's the time to do it. So therefore, it is very, very important to reflect again and again that this is the time to do something. Because what I will become does not depend on some almighty's kind of grace or blessing. It's up to me. How I am now, how I react now, how I act now, or how I do things will create what I will become tomorrow. So therefore, I need to try to become what I want to become now. So therefore, it's the most important time is now, and now is what makes tomorrow. So therefore, if that is the case, then this is the time. And any time we don't do it now, we could be too late. Next is the 8th one. This I have not done, and this I'm only starting, and this I'm only halfway through. Then is the sudden coming of the Lord of Death, and oh, the thought, alas, I am finished. You look upon the faces of your hopeless friends, their tear-stained cheeks, their red and swollen eyes, for such will be the depths of their distress, and then you will see the heralds of the deadly Lord. The memory of former sins will torture you. The screams and din of hell break on your ears. With every terror you will foul yourself. What will you do in such delirium? 8, 9, 10. Ndene maji tsampatung, ndesi shipar nepala, lobr chodo ngonin chehe chamshi sembrancha. Nyange shuchi tombaye mi mar donglin chimanza. Chimanza, nyede reta chepa to hinji ponye yanlata. Rondi tembe donwato, nyawi dana tupaye. Topi mason lukushi, so you think that, these things I have done, this I am starting to do, this I've finished half, then suddenly, the Lord of the Death comes, and you are you are at the brink of dying. And that time, then, you see yourself or your friend in great distress. Your face is swollen with anxiety and distress. the tears falling from your eyes. Your eyes have become red with too much crying, and all your near and dear ones, they've lost hope and are completely desperate. And then the only thing you can do is look at the face of death, or the Lord of Death. That time I would think about negative things that I have done, bad things that I've done, and I will feel bad. And think about all the positive things that I could have done, and I will feel bad. And so therefore, I can only sometimes hear the sounds of the distress of negative realms and things like that. And with so much fear that my body is fouled with my own dirt and my own, I cannot even control my own, what can you say, flow of dirt from my body. And that time, what can I do? That time is too late. There's nothing I can do. So therefore, if we need to do something, if we need to even to find some confidence, for my death and for next life, if I need to find a way that, okay, now even if I die, there's no problem. That is, I'm completely confident to deal with anything that I face in life or in death. If I find something like that, that means my life has been meaningful, my life has been purposeful. So this is the time to search for that. This is the time to practice for that, because that does not come just like that. We need to study, we need to reflect, we need to meditate, we need to practice. And if we do that, then there will be time that even if the death comes, we have the confidence that I will be okay, and nothing can harm me, nothing, I can face anything, and it will be completely okay for me. In that case, if I have done something like that, then I can die with a smile on my face. I can die with confidence. I can die happily. And if I can die like that, that means I've lived life in a most purposeful and useful way for my sake, for my own good. And then that will also bring lots of confidence for me to work for the others. Thank you.